Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, we're going to do a book review on shelters. What is a shelter? You can stop and y'all can talk about it and come up with what you think a shelter is. And do you have a shelter? Okay, welcome back. Now then, and boys and girls, when you finish here, if you haven't checked out winkle.media, you need to do that because my books are on there. So you need to check out winkle.media. And teachers, there's one especially for you, and it's on multiplication. It's for kids learning their multiplication and how easy multiplication really is to learn. Now, if you've got the book Shelter, go get it so that you can follow along. And you've talked about what a shelter is. And if you have a shelter, well, we all have a shelter, don't we? Does an animal have a shelter? Yes, it does. A bear might have a shelter in a cave. So that kind of gives you a hint. All right, let's go with our shelter. Our author on our title page is Susan Canizares, and the illustrator is Daniel Morton. A shelter is a place to live. Were you right? Yeah. It's where something might live, or you might live, or a person. Can you live in a tent? Yes. How about this high rise? In our cities, we have high rises, and we have kids that live up in there. Right here's that looks like a houseboat. It's on the water. And here we have a farm, and we have a barn. We have a house for people and a barn for the animals. It can be a lighthouse. Who lives in the lighthouse? Okay, the light keeper. All right, back in the older days, that's how they managed on the water is they would look for the lighthouse. And so there was people that lived in the lighthouse. Or the houseboat. Do you know anyone that lives on a houseboat? What about this? That's just a clay hut. Yeah, can you live in there? Absolutely. It's sheltering for you to get in out of the heat. Yeah. What's an adobe? Do you live in an adobe? We have, adobes made out of concrete. Could be a skyscraper. It's kind of like what we talked about in our cities. Townhouses, where they go. Maybe you live on a certain floor. Or a townhouse might have, you go in on one floor and maybe the bedrooms or living room is on different floors. Farmhouse. Live in the farm. The animals live in the barn. How about a log cabin? Yeah. Do you know anyone that lives in a log cabin? You can live in a shelter for a long time. Some people live in the same house from when they were little, and then they raise their kids there as well. And so they've lived in the same house. Have you lived in the same house the whole time? Can't wait to see some of y'all's answers. Or a short time. What's this? Yeah, it's an igloo. Is that bear trying to build an igloo? He's trying to build him an igloo, isn't he? It's cold. A shelter is a home. Doesn't matter whose home. Doesn't matter what kind. Could be in a tree. Who lives in a tree? Squirrels, raccoons. I love that answer. All right. Now, on your comments, I want you to tell me what kind of shelter you've ever stayed in. Just think. Make me a list. And which one did you like the best? Home. That's me. Like home. All right. Now, if you've stayed in a tent, that's shelter. Help you out of the weather. So tell me that. I hope you enjoyed our lesson on shelter today. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to make sure you've hit that subscribe button so you can share me with your friends and colleagues and cousins and family. And so that y'all can have a conversation about your shelter and what shelter you really like. And most important, give somebody a hug and tell them you love them. Have a great day on Cindy's Corner.